America celebrates its 239th birthday today when the original 13 colonies declared their independence from Great Britain in 1776. There have been many great moments on this day. Did you know that 2 of the 5 founding fathers died on the same day in the same year? Both Thomas Jefferson and John Adams died on July 4th, 1826, the exact date of the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Fast forwarding 143 years later, another remarkable event honoring our country. Comedian and longtime beloved television performer Red Skelton performed what instantly became a heartwarming slice of American history. Here's Mr. Skelton talking about the Pledge of Allegiance in 1969.
I remember a teacher that I had. Now, I went through the 7th grade. I went to the 7th grade. And I left home when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. And I used to, this is true. I work in the summer, I go to school in the winter. But I had this one teacher. He was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. To me, this was the greatest teacher, a real sage of my time, anyhow. He had such wisdom. And we were all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance one day. And he walked over, this little old teacher, Mr. Laswell was his name. Mr. Laswell, and he says, I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States. Individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that's love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation. And justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and that would be eliminated from schools too?
Tens of millions of Americans have watched Red Skelton's rendition of the Pledge of Allegiance for decades, but very few know this part of the story. There was no teacher by the name of Mr. Laswell. It was pure genius that, like so many of his clown characters, Mr. Laswell was invented. You see, Mr. Skelton was having a 2-year disagreement with his television network at the time. They didn't want the famous comedian to be preaching from the TV pulpit. So he invented the now famous Mr. Laswell, so the network would allow him to attribute to him what was really Mr. Skelton's own views on being an American. In the following years, over 5 million records of that recording were sold. Red Skelton spent an amazing 70 years entertaining his fellow Americans. He died in 1997 at the age of 84.